Yes, coming to the next session, corrosion of aluminum. Corrosion of aluminum. So, aluminum is the most abundant metal in the earth crust. It is obtained from its respective mineral ore called bauxite. It's called bauxite. Even the aluminum objects also loses their shining over the period of time when we used. So because of a thin layer of aluminum oxide, a thin layer of aluminum oxide is formed on the surface of aluminum objects. But so the thin layer of aluminum oxide, protect the remaining part of aluminum objects from corrosion. And aluminum, a common metal which is highly resistant to corrosion is aluminum. So by using one process is called as anodizing. So we can protect the aluminum objects from the corrosion. So what is this anodizing? The layer of aluminum oxide on the surface of aluminum objects. The layer of aluminum oxide on the surface of aluminum objects can be made by electrolysis. This process is called as ionizing. It's called as anodizing. It's called as anodizing. So in this process, forming a thick layer of aluminum oxide and aluminum objects, making it anode. So during electrolysis process, there are two electrodes. One is anode and the other one is the cathode. So this is process, in anodizing process, a thin layer or a thick layer of aluminum oxide is formed on the aluminum objects by making it anode. So by making it anode during the electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid. So the objects like pressure cookers, cooking utensils, saucepans, window frames are anodized to protect them from the corrosion. So the aluminum oxide layer can also be dyed to give objects attractive color. Not only the attractive color, then the layer of aluminum oxide also protect the aluminum from the corrosion. So this is about corrosion of aluminum. So anodizing is the process of giving a thin layer of aluminum oxide on the surface of aluminum objects can be made by electrolysis. It's called anodizing. Then coming to corrosion of copper. Corrosion of copper, which is copper objects also loses its shiny surface after some time due to the formation of copper oxide layer. On them. When a copper object remains in the damp air, So in a considerable time, the copper reacts slowly with the carbon dioxide and water of air to form a green coating of copper. That is nothing but copper carbonate. CuCO3. So when copper is placed in the outside, so it gives copper oxide. So when you place the copper objects for over the period of time, so this copper reacts with carbon dioxide and moist air, carbon dioxide and moist air, and forms a green coating on the surface of the copper objects. So that green coating is nothing but copper carbonate, right? So the formation of this green coating on the surface of copper objects corrode. So the green coating of basic copper carbonate is a mixture of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. So the green coating on copper, is a mixture of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. So the green coating, especially we observe this situation during hot days. Summer season, we are able to see if you use any copper objects or copper rings or copper ornaments or some other whatever, we observe that the green coating is formed on the copper ring or copper plate, whatever. So that is nothing but corrosion of the copper. So even though copper is a low reactive metal, but corrosion of copper is a slow process. Then coming to corrosion of silver. So silver also corrode. So whenever silver objects having a bright surface on them. So whenever we see the currency coins, jewelry, silverware such as silver utensils, decorative articles, so appearing very bright surface and resistance to corrosion. So the silver ornaments gradually turns into black due to the formation of a thin layer of silver sulfide, AgS. A thin layer of silver sulfide is formed on the silver objects. So it turns into black here, turn into black. So because of corrosion of silver. So the corrosion of silver, it forms silver sulfide. When the silver reacts with hydrogen sulfide. So hydrogen sulfide. When silver reacts with the hydrogen sulfide, which is present in the atmosphere. So hydrogen gas present in the air. So due to the action of silver and hydrogen sulfide in the air, so the silver turns into black. So because of it is formed silver sulfide. It is formed a silver sulfide as a layer. So this is about the corrosion of silver. Then what about the gold, platinum? So they are noble metals. They are called as the noble metals or inert metals because they did not corrode. Because of the very low reactive. They are very low reactive with the oxygen and the atmospheric air. So they cannot corrode. Does not corrode. Therefore, gold ornaments look new even after several years of use. It is used to make jewelry because of its bright and shiny surface and high resistance to corrosion. Gold and platinum are having because of they are the very low reactive elements, low reactive metals with the oxygen and atmospheric conditions, so they won't corrode, and they have a bright shiny surface, So due to this reason, gold and platinum are used in making jewelry. Platinum also. So platinum and gold. So this is about corrosion of aluminum, copper and silver. Right? I hope understood.